All right, this is to everyone at the back. Can you hear me? Yes? All right, we all know why I'm here. I'm the local guy who was called. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. And I wanted to extend a very warm welcome to the speakers who are visiting us from outside the state. Let's give them a warm round of applause, everyone. My presentation, my discussion today is something we call unconventional inspiration. The theme today is being unconventional, of course. So we're speaking about unconventional inspiration. But before we go into this diatribe of mine on inspiration, I think it's very apt to speak about the city in which I grew up in and the city that has taught me life's lessons. The city that you are all studying in right now and are privileged to be a part of, Shillong. It is often said that, something wrong with the clicker, yeah. It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and so I also do photography as a hobby. I'm going to run you through a few pictures of Shillong and what it means to all of us. Shillong is this wonderful amalgamation of beautiful weather, of sunsets, of climate, of boulevards with sun streaming through the trees, an excellent golf course that is, I think, the talk of the town, a hub for youth and education. Shillong is also home to the first football club from the Northeast that has made it to the I-Leagues, the Lejong football team. Home to heritage properties like our cathedral on the way here, an active nightlife, and for most of you who weren't aware of it, we are quite secure. Our additional chief secretary will, I think, vote for that. We hosted the first Shillong Fashion Week last year, and like everyone knows, not the rock capital, I refuse to believe that. We do love our music, but it's not just rock, there's a lot more things than that. On the screen is a chain of words, and let me tell you, this is where I gained my experience growing up. For most of you who aren't aware, I started working when I was 15. The reason why I started working when I was 15 was, against my parents' wishes, I decided to take that train down to Calcutta and pursue my further studies out of Shillong. I did my ICSE when I was just 14. I actually love writing. I'm good with English. I love putting words together. I think I'm good at English. I'm not sure. I do this. I better be good at it. I love acting. I love being on stage. As a child, I loved the spotlight. Flowers is something I did for a living in Calcutta. You know, my first job was selling flowers for a living and delivering flowers to people who were in love and to daughters who were missing their mothers. And you've all done it, so, stop laughing. Music is something I play. I play the lead guitar. I had a band in Calcutta where I actually played for women who'd go, oh. Yeah, anyway, sorry. Choreography, yeah. Software, oh, by the way, when I was in class 10, I was given my, I thought I was going to be the next Bill Gates. I loved software and I loved programming. So I wrote software for a while in my life. I assembled computers to make a living and brought them from Calcutta up to Shillong to sell them and to make a fortune. I thought, like I said, I was going to be the next Microsoft. I also sold, believe it or not, pool and snooker tables for a whole year of my life. Animation is something I taught for a living, taught design. That is where I learned my aesthetics of branding and PR. I've compared and managed events, and I've taught for most of my young life. All of this before I was 18. And this, ladies and gentlemen, was my education. Over the last 10 years of the work that we have done, we have reached out to schools and college students. I actually teach communication skills and soft skills, and Virat, we'd love to have you here to do a session with Avenue someday. Children and young adults, working adults, illiterate adults, educated, unemployed adults, teachers, educators, parents who want to make or who want to be better at parenting, government servants who believe in the standards of efficiency that we want to set out for, corporate teams who are now exploring the opportunity of the Northeast, politicians who understand the value of standing up there and delivering a great oration, entrepreneurs who believe in a vision much larger than our small town and our cities of the Northeast. In total, my team and the group that we work for have trained over 10,000 participants in the last 10 years. Before I carry on, I'd like to speak about the region that we come from, the Northeast, and it's a privilege for me to be speaking about my own part of the world. Please bear with me and be a little patient. I'd like to talk about three things: what binds us, what breaks us, and what builds us. As a community, what binds us is the fact that we are 7 states that are so diverse. We have 166 plus tribes and languages that you cannot even begin to count. We are rooted so deeply in our music, our sense of faith, our traditions. We celebrate life and death. We're active civil society. You'll find pockets of active civil society everywhere in the Northeast. We don't spare anyone. Opinionated youth, a highly defined sense of fashion, beauty, aesthetics, beautiful nature and weather, and the hearts of our warm and sentimental people once you get to know them and not write them off. What breaks us though, like any other part of the world and our country, there are things that break us as well. There is obviously the fact that there are so many young adults today leaving the Northeast because of a lack of opportunity. Whether it's provided by the private sector or the government sector, the fact of the matter is opportunity and the lack of it has been our worst enemy. We call it brain drain. It's a phrase that I'm sure you're all comfortable with. Pockets of terrorism do exist. Do not brand us as terrorists. I've heard people call us a bunch of terrorists. We are not terrorists. Corruption and politicals. Now, I'm going to define politico versus politician. A politico wins at any cost. And this is what we are plagued with at the moment, the corruption that comes with that. Illiteracy is rampant, unemployment because of that. Crimes against women is sad. I come from a community, we are part of the Khasi community that is matrilineal, where the children take over after the mother in terms of title, where daughters inherit property and are the custodians of these properties. And to see every day in the newspaper, if you pick up a paper, you will be bound to find at least one crime of a girl who was under the age, you will not believe it, of 4 in this state of Meghalaya. It's very sad. There were 66 crimes like this reported last year in our state. Environmental degradation because of unchecked mining practices and the rampant misuse of our land and natural resources. And of course, geographic inaccessibility. There is one other factor that I'd like to talk about, which is why we are so inspired to do what we do. The uninspired, youth who do not have a cause and who lack a certain foundation. What will build us? I asked myself this question, say about 10 years ago when we first started Avenues. Education, obviously, the next generation is our resource. Human resource development is where it is hot right now. Tourism and hospitality, obviously, we have some of the most amazing natural beauty in the country. Sports and sport management, football is huge in the Northeast. IT and ITES activities that can capitalize and take a hold of and take advantage of our naturally well-spoken individuals. Self-help group, medium-scale enterprise, venture funding is lacking in this part of the world. There are a lot of great ideas. I can tell you for myself, from a person who started from scratch, when you want to go after venture capital, there are very few people who back an enterprise in the Northeast. I believe we have a venture capitalist in our midst today. I hope he's listening. Fashion and design. We have amazingly unique fabrics, and I think all of you who have been studying in Shillong will agree to this, right? Yes or no? Yes, wonderful. Handicrafts and handlooms, and of course, I've had the privilege of speaking as part of a CII delegation at Thailand and looking at the Look East policy and how fortunate we are to have a 2,000-kilometer international border that borders so many countries. This is a hotbed of opportunity. Why don't we see it? Why don't we grab a hold of this? The last thing that I feel would really build us is a sense of inspired, motivated youth who will lead the next generation of our region. I want to ask you a very simple question. Think about it. The answer is different for each of us. It's different for me. What would you consider to be the most important investment of our generation? No answers. Let's look at the screen. Wealth and generations is a debate that has gone on for years, and I think, let me look at my time. Oh hell, all right. Wealth and generations. Generational wealth is a debate that exists where we speak about wealth passing on from generation to generation. It takes 4 generations to completely spend your money. The first generation builds your money. The second generation consolidates it. The third generation divides those assets amongst the children and the grandchildren and the aunties and the mistresses. And of course, the fourth generation where everything is spent. So in 4 generations, we're looking at a complete dilution of wealth and value. Now, why is this important, you see? Wealth and capital, according to the United Nations, their definition of inclusive wealth includes the following 3 elements, Natural resources, our land and the produce of our land, our human assets, our intellectual property, our physical assets, the manufactured assets of the investments in capital. But there is one last paradigm that I think we need to explore: youth. Youth is the next great untapped potential of wealth and nation building. And so when we have pictures like these of students we train and people we work with, it gives us immense joy and pleasure to know that we are making a difference in the lives of our next generation. The generation that will stand up, stand out, make a difference, and actually take the lead in delivering things with passion, sensibility, and initiative. These are children at our local establishment here, our academy. They look quite happy. I'm happy to see that. This girl in the middle, this is a unique initiative we started about 6 months ago to teach not just regular communication skills, but alternate communication skills like sign language and braille. You know what this does? This teaches you respect for diversity. It teaches you humility, because there are people who are less fortunate than us, with lesser abilities, who should not be, let's say, sidelined. This is called mainstreaming disability, and it's something that we're working towards. The girl in the middle, the second girl to my right, cannot speak. It's a very sad thing. She's a beautiful girl, and I remember how heart-wrenching it was when I first met her. Children are learning sign language at our centers right now. This is a performance of John Lennon's Imagine and the local museum, the Skywalk. Right, so youth, not just any kind of youth, empowered youth. And we as educators, as trainers, have to learn these lessons to encourage respect for diversity, to learn to identify role models. If you asked a student under the age of 10 today, who is your role model? Under the age of 18, I was in a class the other day and I asked them, who was your role model? You will not believe the answers I got. They were rap stars and hip-hop artists. Anyway, we teach patience by example as instructors. We lead with passion. And you have to understand that courtesy doesn't start outside. It starts, where does it start? At home. We celebrate individuality. There is no need to make a child feel less special because he's unique in whatever way he celebrates his existence. We entertain to educate. You need to grab a hold of your audience and entertain them. Break the rules. Take your teaching outside the classroom. The typical confines are too constrained. Motivate, delegate, and then talk about empowering your young adults. This is the lesson we'd like to share with teachers and trainers across the country. The 8 unconventional lessons that I have learned on my journey here are truly unconventional because these are small town learning lessons of an entrepreneur who started from scratch. I hope you'll humor me and listen to these lessons. I think they apply to everyone. The first lesson is, when you start young, you are given this rare privilege of experiencing and learning about so much of life. Experience is your best education. Like I told you, all the things that I've done have brought me to this point. And when you connect the dots, you will agree that starting young affords you the rare privilege of experience. That is a wonderful education. There is absolutely no substitute for hard work. I don't know if you know this, but there are no shortcuts. And when you do take the shortcuts, they come back to bite you in the A ##. Rule 3. If it's too good to be true, believe me, it normally is. If it comes too easy, question it. It may not be true for all of you, but it is true for me. And man, I've lost a lot of money because of this. Number 4. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. And I've marked a word. What is that word there? What is it again? Yeah, women. Women do it much better than men. I mean, work. All right. Surround yourself with people who challenge you every day, because it is so easy to fall back into this routine where you feel like, okay, all right, I've got a chamcha who's going to masca polish me and tell me, hey, you're really good, man. You're amazing. Right? But that is the easy way out. You want people who challenge you, who tell you, listen, pal, you're doing something wrong, you need to correct it. Respect everyone. Period. Nothing substitutes this. Humility is what builds success, and I've learned this the hard way. Rule number 6. People forget things all the time, especially the good stuff. So let's talk about not resting on our laurels. Consistently endeavoring to do better and better. People forget things. Number 7, the grass will always be greener there. You know where there is? Your neighbor, the next person. Because wherever you are in life, whatever you do, there will always be someone who has the bigger, better opportunity than you. And unless you learn to make peace with this, you will never be able to be happy and calm and at ease with where you are in life. Rule number 8. Words. Read them. Opportunity is in not following the herd. Opportunity is in the road, not taken. The bridge between you and your higher self is inspiration. When you're inspired to be greater than you are, to believe in a certain value system that echoes passion, that is where success comes from. You see, inspiration is actually passion. When you're passionate about something and you believe in something with all your heart and you're willing to give it your best, you will make sure that you start strong and you finish stronger. Persistence. And when you're persistent and you know that you've reached that logical end, you will know that your journey was marked with a sense of respect for people around you and their opinions and the way they feel about you. That is what we call perspective. Inspiration, passion, persistence, and perspective. I'll ask you one question today. What inspires you? Have you ever thought about it? I have. When she wrapped her hands around my finger, I knew that I was a new man. This is my daughter. And when you look at her eyes, and you know that you are meant to be her role model, her sensibilities, her passion, her very reason for living. This is what defines our sense of passion. This is what you will become. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did do. So stand up, stand out, walk against the grain, dream, discover, explore, because the world is yours and it will be yours if you can be inspired. Thank you.